Once again, we gather in search of the truth, dark, and mystery. It's the Drunk Turkey Show.
Big development today in the investigation into the murders of 4 University of Idaho students. According to state and local officials and court documents, 28-year-old Brian Christopher Koberger has been arrested. He was arrested and arraigned this morning in Pennsylvania.
We have new details on what Brian Koberger was doing right before his arrest. Police says a tactical team burst in to arrest the Idaho murder suspect. He was in pajamas and latex gloves, stuffing trash into Ziploc bags.
Hey, greetings from the year 3000. It still sucks. This is Philip J. Fry, and you're listening to the Drunken Turkey Show. Your one stop for this sort of thing. Hit that button, like and subscribe. You know what to do, just like every other podcast.
Just like every other podcast. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the DT Show. I'm Daniel, and today we have a special guest. We have Dr. Vona that's going to be joining us, and we're going to be talking about a different case, one that I know a little bit about. I know some. You know, I've heard about it. I know that there's a Netflix, documentary that's out on it. I have not yet seen it. Kind of just know the premises of what happened, and in the case is the McKenzie Shreela case, and this is a case that Dr. Vona has been covering extensively, and she asked me to join her tonight and to kind of break the ins and the outs of the case. But before we get into it, I wanted to kind of tell you guys about my second channel that we have going on. It's one with actually me and my spouse, Steelers fan. She's probably in the live chat. It's called Married to the Hobby. We have a couple of videos out, a couple of shorts out already. We just surpassed 100 subscribers, so I'd appreciate it if you guys go and subscribe. We're going to be giving away, when we hit the 500 mark, a booster bundle. I lost my mic. There it is, which is one of these guys. Wrong way. So if you're into Pokemon and things of that nature, we rip this stuff. If you guys would go to the channel, we'll be giving away a booster bundle when we hit the 500 mark. We're at 104, so thank you guys for getting us there. But I appreciate it. So without further ado, let's get into today's conversation. Let's bring in today's guest, Dr. Vona. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Daniel. I didn't realize that you guys had that channel. I'm going to subscribe as soon as we're done here. I can't wait. I'm so excited for you guys.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we started it probably about maybe 2-3 weeks ago. Put out a video, did some shorts, and it's been fun. It's something different, you know, to get your mind off of the whole true crime stuff sometimes. You know what I mean?
So, totally. That is so amazing. I love that. Best of luck. Everything's going to be great with it. I know it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we're giving away a booster bundle. A lot of folks go a little crazy for these things. You know, there's something called like Poke Street where these people go, these grown men, and I guess sometimes women, get into like physical altercations over Pokemon cards. It's quite hilarious. I think you enjoy watching it. It's funny sometimes. I
will. I'm definitely going to watch it. And if any of my mods are here, I'm going to put it in the chat. That would be great.
Oh, I appreciate that. And the way you guys find it, and my computer's going a little slow, it's you could search Married to the Hobby that way, or Married #2 the Hobby, or just kind of search Pokemon as well, and you'll see it. There's us right here. We have another video coming out probably tomorrow that we recorded a little while ago today, ripping the newest set. So I appreciate it, everybody who joined. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and we'll be giving away things as well as we do this, and and we also have a lot of stuff saved for Rogan. I don't know if you heard in the background, but we're hoping, she'll have some things that she'll enjoy as well.
I love that for you guys.
Well, thank you. And well, I know everybody's here for the true crime. Everyone's here for the case. Tell me, Dr. Vona, what got you into the McKenzie Shreela case? Because I believe you've been into it before I guess the Netflix. Is that correct?
Yes, this and the Koberger case were like the two cases that I've came into true crime with. So I feel like I know too much about this case. Actually, I got my husband into it too, which is weird because he doesn't usually get into all this, but he's like sending me documentaries. There's so many that I didn't even know. There's like 2 on Hulu, 1 on Netflix, one on Tubi, like they're everywhere. 2020 did an episode. So I think I've seen them all. But on top of that, I have the whole case file and I've read every text message. I looked at every body cam video. I mean, I totally have taken this whole thing in. So I can't wait to get your group in, who maybe doesn't know as much about it up to speed.
Yeah. I've not heard about it. I have seen some things. So I saw a very heartbreaking video of law enforcement arriving at the home of one of the victims to inform their mother of the passing. I've seen and heard a few things, but let's start off at the beginning. Where did this happen?
Okay, so to start this off, on July 31st, 2022, McKenzie Shreela was driving with her boyfriend Dominic Russo and their friend Davion Flanagan in Strongsville, Ohio, and she crashes the car into a commercial building at about 100 miles an hour. Dominic and Davion both died and McKenzie survived, although when they first come onto the scene, they didn't think that she was alive either, but then they realized she's breathing. They used the helicopter to get her, to the hospital, and she winds up surviving. So the huge issue in the case was that the prosecutors believe that the crash was intentional, while the defense argues that it was reckless driving and impairment, but not an intentional murder. The judge ultimately sides with the prosecution after a bench trial, which I thought was so strange. So a bench trial, in case anybody doesn't know, is when you ask for a judge to hear the case instead of a jury. I don't know why she did that. Like, that just seemed like that was just bad advice. Don't you think so?
I would agree.
Why would
I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only thing is that maybe perhaps at the time there may have been a lot of media pressure, maybe putting out a certain narrative. Typically when you have that type of situation and you become in fear of a impartial jury that may have already made up their mind, that's probably the only time that you might think of that way. Another time is that when you think that maybe perhaps there's something technical, I would say, like something that a judge maybe couldn't look past or doesn't fit maybe the entire crime, and they felt that the emotional aspect may side with the victims in this case, and so they wanted to get the emotion out of it. Those are the only two really means of why you would do that.
That second one, I totally agree. That's the only thing that I really thought of. I didn't think of the first one, but the second one, where if there's something emotional and you feel like you have a technical, like where, like you said, you think that it would be innocent according to the law. I could see it there, but I don't feel like that's this case. I feel like she totally does herself in. And how weird is it that, so Dom's mom, her boyfriend, his mom is a lawyer, and her last name's Russo, and the judge, it was just coincidence. The judge's last name's also Russo. So at one point you see them saying like Judge Russo, and her eyes get real big because she's like, what's happening? So I thought that was strange, but it was a coincidence. So if anybody hears the Judge Russo name, that was just coincidence that the judge has the same last name as the boyfriend. But everybody's emotionally divided on this. So you have one side that looks at the speed and the lack of braking, the relationship conflict, and they say that there's no way that this was accidental. And then you have the other side that sees a teenage girl who survived a horrific crash and believes that this was an emotional, reckless, and non-intentional homicide. Now Netflix brings her voice into it, which for the first time since the crash. And I thought that was interesting too, because I don't know, that was a little cringe. I mean, she literally, I don't know if you got to see it, but at one point, I'm so glad Netflix kept it in. She looks to the side and looks at her lawyer and goes, did I get it all? I was like, oh my gosh. So even if you were starting to feel anything for her, like emotion wise, you were kind of like, wait, what? Like it was almost like, like, did I do it? Like, did I get it enough? It was so strange. You have to see it if you haven't seen it yet.
I haven't. Brittany, my wife, she's actually been watching it or been into it. And I think she tried to ask me if I was interested in a while ago. And I was like, I'm not interested in anything true crime. That's kind of been my feelings, but I've been out of the true crime spectrum for about a week now, and really kind of diving more into some of the paranormal stuff that I might be, diving back into this true crime stuff.
Wait,
and
did you say paranormal?
Yeah, I've been talking about the UFO dumps that.
Oh yeah, okay. When you said paranormal, I was just thinking. So, in the arrest of McKenzie, like when she's getting arrested. It is so weird, Daniel, because it's so weird. But and I have it on a short. It's only 6 seconds, but you literally can hear something say, "She killed us." It's so weird. It's like clear as day.
Hmm.
And Dom's sister had it authenticated by like a paranormal professional. So when you said that, I was like, oh my gosh.
That's interesting. I mean, I've seen a few things that are interesting when it comes to some of the true crime cases. I know with the Watts case, have you seen the
Oh my
body
gosh.
cam? And you hear certain things in the background. You can see what looks like a shadow going up and down
The shadow is
the
so
stairs.
creepy.
Yeah,
That
yeah. I know some folks think that, or some folks will speculate that it's just the way, I guess, the camera angle and the bars are. But I don't know, man. That looks creepy. If that's the case, then replicate it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If that's
Same
the
thing with
case,
this other one with the she killed us. I have to send it to you after. It's so creepy.
yeah,
I hear
yeah,
tears down.
that's insane, to be honest with you. And
It's so
so,
crazy. So when you said that, I got like the goosebumps. I was like, oh my gosh. That was crazy.
I haven't heard about it. I might look into it. And Claude
Definitely.
comes in saying that people generally seek bench trials when they think there be a jury will be too emotional. What size is the town? Strongsville, Ohio. I've never heard of it. I'm assuming it's a smaller town.
I know that it's a suburb of Cleveland, but I don't know the population.
Did they move the trial from the city or from that
Nope.
place?
No, it
They
was
kept
still in
it there.
Charlotte. Yep.
That's interesting.
I think
And
her lawyer, I don't know if people know this, but like they paid for that lawyer. In my opinion, I feel like, and Chloe knows, I don't know much about law at all, but I felt like I could have done a better job than this lawyer. He, in my opinion, dropped the ball in so many ways, starting with that he says it's okay to like, or says to do this, the trial with the judge, the bench trial. I thought that was crazy, but there's so many things in the case that like he just completely either didn't read, didn't look into, or whatever. It was just crazy.
well, maybe there's reason behind it. What is Mackenzie's background? Did she have a criminal record? Did she have a problem that maybe wouldn't have made her look so good on the stand?
So she doesn't have a criminal record, however. Like and she was arrested at first as a juvenile, and then the prosecution had to like put a case on to the juvenile judge to show that it was relevant for her to be tried as an adult, which they eventually do. And but if you so where you would see this, and I don't know legally, I don't think this can come into the case, I guess, unless they're showing prior bad acts. But like in high school, which she just graduated that year. So she graduates in May and this happens in July. So she was graduated high school, but it was that summer. But so many people said she was a mean girl in high school, that she literally like looked up to Regina George from Mean Girls. Like that's how much. So I don't know if I mean, people could have said she was mean, this, that, and the other, but I don't know if that would have would that have played a role in this? Because this was an accident. I mean, I don't know how that would really show bad or prior bad acts. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, a lot of people are saying that there's a drug aspect to it. This neighborhood or this suburb, you said it's a suburb of Cleveland. Is it like a wealthy neighborhood?
It looks pretty nice.
Okay.
These are nice homes. It's
I mean, maybe that's what
definitely like upper
maybe
middle class.
that's what maybe that's what the fear was, is that she was going to come off, on drugs, out of control, maybe perhaps wild,
So
those
it's
type of things in an upper class neighborhood, upper class
yeah,
city, that you might come off maybe that. And I think, I mean, I don't know if that's the strongest point, but maybe that's the avenue that they want to go down for getting the bench trial, to avoid maybe a jury from that town, so to speak. And the victims, did they have like a strong tie in the neighborhood? Were they in sports? Were their family well known throughout the town?
So that's a good question. So Davion was like a high school football star type thing. They lived in one of the towns where like football was a big thing. So he was, but then he tore his ACL his senior year. So he wound up sitting out, but he was still seen as like a big time like football person there. And then Dom was, I mean, he had such like he had great ambitions, but if we're being honest, he was arrested like a few years prior for, you know, minor, I believe it was like for pot or something, which I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't consider him like this huge criminal for that. But that would be their background. But Dom was about 2.5 years older than McKenzie. She just graduates high school. So does Davion. Davion's planning to go to like barber school. And Dom had like a lot of aspirations, but he wasn't like, he didn't go to like a 9 to 5 type job.
Mhm.
He
And
lived
so,
next door to his mom in his own house too, which I think plays a role in this because McKenzie winds up moving in with him while she's still in high school, which I think is like, I mean, her parents, I think, dropped the ball on so much here. But they let her move in with him while she was still in high school. And he lived next door to his mom because he's one of 7 siblings, and one of the brothers who has mental illness. I love this brother. He's awesome when you see him in the different body cams, but apparently him and Dom didn't get along very well. So the mom bought the house next door, and Dom lived next door to, you know, the rest of the family. And then McKenzie eventually moves in.
okay. And how was McKenzie at school? Did she go to school? Was she a dropout? Was she having
So
problems?
she goes to school, but she's like a mean girl in school. Like she goes to school and she takes videos every day at school in the bathroom of like her look that day. I mean, she would take videos and stuff, but she eventually does. I mean, she does graduate with her class, but she goes to this Polaris place, it's called. It's like their cosmetology school type thing as well. And she was like struggling there. Like she wanted to have a client, like she wanted Mrs. Russo to come in one day, and they were like, that's a privilege. And like apparently she didn't earn that yet. So I mean, she wasn't like the best kid, but she went to school and the thing was, Dom winds up becoming like responsible for getting her to school. It's the weirdest thing. Like it's 7 o'clock in the morning. They're on the phone first thing in the morning. And he's like taking her to school. I'm like, why is this kid's responsibility to get her to school? I mean, he winds up like feeding her dinner every night. She only eats special things. I mean, now she's in prison, so I don't know how that's working out for her, but she liked to eat clean and stuff. So like, it wasn't good enough what his mother made or whatever. Like he would have to make, I don't know. I just almost feel like he took on like a parental role, which
And
makes
she
me
was
feel
how
like
old?
she was 17 at the time of the crash, and he was 20, but she was about to be 18 in 2 days.
Hmm.
So she does this right before her 18th birthday. So I don't know if that plays a role in it at all, as far as her thinking that maybe because if she got tried as a juvenile, she would have been out at 21. So, I mean, who knows if she thought like, I have to do this before I'm 18. I don't know if that played a role. That's more
That
speculation.
takes a lot of that. That's some premeditation there. This doesn't. I don't know much about the case, but from what I know is she accelerated into a wall. Is that correct?
Yes, at 100 miles an hour, and she never slows down. Her foot never goes on the brake.
That's not something to me that screams like a well thought out plan. You know, that screams like something that happened, and you know, maybe something happened in the vehicle,
Like we
and
get
she
into a fight,
decided.
and I'm like, I'll like end us right now type thing. I think it was probably something like that, in my opinion.
Right. I mean, because she's putting herself in quite a bit of a danger now, unless she had some sort of self-harm tendencies. Did she?
Nope. And not only that, she had planned for her birthday in like a few days. She had her outfit picked out. But that was the other thing. That's like what some of the defense was saying, though. They're like, she wasn't trying to take herself out. So this was like a really big, you know, action to do if you're not trying to take yourself out. That was the defense. I'm not saying that that's true. I'm just saying that's what they argued. But I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look good for her, in my opinion. I sent you the
Right.
picture of the shoe, right? With it, where the shoe's all the way down. So that was stuck. Could you explain in case anybody else, because I think that was a good explanation. I didn't even think of that. Like I asked Daniel, you guys, there was a picture. Well, it was on one of the documentaries, and I like paused it and took a picture and sent it to Daniel and was like, how could this pedal still be down? It's like pressed down to the ground with their shoe on it, and there's no foot in the shoe. Like, it's a picture after. And you were saying that it might have gotten like malfunction or got stuck or something.
Well, I mean, looking at the damage to the vehicle to the front end, I mean, the pedal, it's not going to stay suppressed like that. It most likely the throttle cable probably came undone and it broke, right? And so whatever control that is, I know some vehicles are now electrical, some vehicles still maintain a wire. I don't know what year, make, and model and which one she had. If it's an electrical type throttle, then the computer and then the battery and everything else probably just malfunctioned during the crash. But the shoe being on the gas pedal was what was interesting. It wasn't so much the gas pedal being suppressed. Now, if I was her defense attorney, what I would say is, because I'd be like, it's kind of weird and it's telling that the shoe is still there. However, if you hit something going straight forward, that inertia, that is going to push everything that direction. And so everything would go forward, including the shoe and her foot and things of that nature. So as telling as it is, it's also could be deceiving. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes total sense with me, because part of me thinks like, oh yeah, what if it malfunctioned or whatever? But then I'm thinking like, how do we know it didn't malfunction? And now I really do think she premeditated this, but in the moment, in my opinion. But
I don't think that malfunctioned. I think that was after the crash.
Could somebody argue, like, could a defense argue that it was down after the crash? So how do we know that it didn't, like, somehow, like, she puts her foot on the gas and it gets stuck or something? Like, could they have argued that? Because it was still down. Almost as if, like, she had no control. Like, even if she lifted her foot up, her foot's out of it at that part, and it's still down at that point.
If there was something like if they moved the shoe and then it came up and as you were moving the shoe, it was stuck, that would be somewhat exonerating. However,
but what if the shoe comes off and the pedal's still down? Wouldn't that be like
right? I mean, I don't think that shoe there would have stayed suppressed with the weight of that shoe.
No, me.
So to me, I think it's broke due to the accident. However, there's a black box, I'm assuming, on the vehicle. What was the year, make, and model of the car?
Well, that's a good question. I honestly have no idea, but that's like an easy Google. I could look it up real quick.
Because the year, make, and model of the car is going to make if it's relatively new, there's a black box on it. A couple of things that it's going to determine. There was a black box. Yeah, a couple of things that's going to determine is not just the accident, but certain red flag incidents. And a couple of those red flag incidents would be accelerating past 60%, I believe, gets documented. And so if she floored it for a certain amount of period, there's going to be a recorded event on the black box indicating that. And so if I was her defense attorney, I would argue, if it's not there, that this was not a situation where she was accelerating to try to hit, the wall, that this was somebody who was just, lost control. What time did this accident occur?
So it happened at 5:39, I think it was, a.m. So and I didn't see this until today. My husband sent me the documentary on Tubi, and I was watching it and I was like, wait, why haven't I seen this before? There's a video of her, I guess from her phone, of them smoking at 2 a.m. Then there's another video of them at 5 a.m. smoking right before, or like it looks like they're like passing it or something. So like there's a picture of them wide awake at 5 a.m. Apparently they fall asleep in between that, but at 5 a.m. they decide to get up and go home. So it was like 5:39. So they left at like 5:30. It was like 5:39 when it happened. And the car is a 2018 Toyota Camry.
Okay, yes, that should definitely have a black box and should be able to determine certain things like
so it doesn't. I feel like my computer was listening to us, because it literally says One reason the vehicle mattered so much in court was because investigators used the vehicle's event data recorder, or black box, to get the speed calculations, acceleration patterns, and brake data to help reconstruct the crash. And it says that the prosecutors argued that the data showed rapid acceleration, speeds approaching 100 miles an hour, and little to no evidence of braking before the impact.
So that's pretty damning. I'll be honest with you. That's pretty damning. You know, and goes back to the whole bench trial thing. I mean, you know, can you finagle a jury emotionally to think of certain reasons why somebody might be doing that? You know, could they have said, oh, they were having an argument, but it wasn't intentional, it was just an argument and she was just accelerating, you know? But then she would have to probably testify to that. Did she testify?
No, she did not testify. I think that was probably better for her not to testify, but she does not testify. No.
You know, my thought process is just that, you know, if she was taking responsibility for the accident, how could she not say that she wasn't involved? Did she come back positive for anything? Was she impaired?
No, that's what I was going to say next. So this was the thing. This is so weird. So at first you would think that if you're in a car accident, that the last thing you would want is to show that you were intoxicated, right? However, so she like, you know, they take her blood and all. First of all, they take her blood and everything right after the accident and then never tested it. So they never tested her for anything like drugs or alcohol until like 2 or 3 days later, which was crazy to me. But they said that there was no alcohol or drugs found in her blood. They did say there was like a byproduct of pot, but apparently she was like taking a pot break or something. So it was like a marker, but it didn't show that it was enough to impair her. There was also mushrooms at this party. She had them on her person. Like, I believe she had them like in her bra or something during like when the crash happened, but there was no psilocybin in her system. So that's interesting too. But they also found $168. And I told you before, I read all of the text messages. So if you read the text messages, you find out that night she was collecting how many grams people wanted type thing. So they find money too. It was like $168 or something. So that obviously would account for why she might have it, but not use it.
Mm-hmm. So she was selling. That's okay. And I mean, the accelerator, what's the defense here?
The defense was, okay, so that's interesting. So that's what I was starting to say. So apparently if they could have proved that she was high or drunk, they could have said that this was a teen and that they went out and they could have said it was like manslaughter type thing, or like you know, vehicular homicide. But she gets charged with, oh my gosh, it's like, oh, I don't know if anybody knows the exact charge, but it was something with like, it was like an aggravated type murder where, you know, the penalty is 15 to life or 30 to life or life, depending on what the judge wanted. But the judge picks 15 to life for her. But the judge says that she doesn't think that McKenzie is going to be out in 15 years.
They think
I don't know
she
if
is
she's just saying that to like save face because of the family, like just to explain why she was giving 15 years instead of 30. I don't know. But do I think she'll be out in 15 years? No. I do think if you look, she has a whole behavior sheet at jail, including one of the things on her behavior sheet is sexual harassment. So I don't know what the context is. It just lists it, but she has so many, like she's been in the hole a ton of times. She's been found with like stuff related to like hooking up with other girls in jail. Like, I don't know what they call it, but I don't know. They call it something, but like she's got write-ups for that.
Mm-hmm.
She's had multiple girlfriends now in jail that have gotten out and have talked.
Interesting. And what is the hope from the Netflix? Is she hoping that she gets a new trial? Like what is the avenue of that?
It's so unreal. So I believe that her parents, like they're such enablers in my opinion. And even if you listen, there's so many jail calls and there's a few new ones that Plunder just put out in the past few days that are like, oh my gosh. But if you listen, the mom always says things like, she'll be like, but McKenzie, this wasn't your fault. Like, everybody knows this isn't your fault. Or McKenzie will ask, like, what are people saying online and stuff? And her mom's like, well, there's good and bad. And she'll be like, well, is there more good or more bad? The mom's like, well, more good. Like, the mom's just always giving her, like, the worst. Like, she's not being honest with her, and she's not making her, like, holding her accountable for anything. So I feel like McKenzie must have learned that, right? From them. I mean, I feel like I don't know, the mom or the dad, for that matter. The dad, actually, after the Netflix thing, has been put on administrative leave because he says, and he says he doesn't know if this is exactly why, but I don't know why else. The only other thing I think he said in the documentary, or the thing that he did that was dumb, was he wore a top that said boom on it. I'm like, why would you do that? But what he says that I think might have been the thing that got him on administrative leave while there's an investigation is that he said that McKenzie smoked pot and that he didn't have a problem with that. But the way he says it is, he says, I didn't have a problem with that. Like, in other words, that was better than other things. He goes, so I don't have a problem if McKenzie smoked weed. He goes, I don't have a problem if I smoked weed. And I'm like, ooh, he works in a Catholic school as a teacher. Like, you should not have said that. Like, it is not legal, I don't think, where they live. I don't know. It might be like medicinal, but it's not like it's not like he should have said that.
Right. And he's a teacher?
Yes, he's like an art and digital digital media type thing teacher.
Linder says that if you watched the car crash, there was never any brake lights. Is there a video of the car crash?
Oh, yes, there is. Daniel, if you literally just Googled the crash, I mean, and then hit videos, there's so many of them. But one of the documentaries, again, that my husband showed, I never saw the actual crash part, because everything that you see usually is all the way up, and then you see it from far away and you see that it crashes, but you don't really see much. In this documentary, I don't know where they get this from, but you literally see it. I'm like, wait, what? Like, you could see the crash. It's crazy. If you Google it, it'll literally, I mean, there's so many, it's only a few seconds, but even if you hear it, like, it makes like such a loud crash, and you just see it. It looks like a missile going down the street. Like, it is flying. And the important part of it is that right before, you see her coming down the other street and she turns right, but she like slows down, puts her turn signal on. So it shows her driving normal, and then she makes a right. And then the next thing you know, she's flying down the street into the wall.
And what was the roadway like? Was it a straight road? Did it come to a stop? Was it a T? Was it a curve?
Okay, so it was like a T, right? So she goes right into the building, but they said, because people like tried to say, well, what if she fell asleep or something like that? But the sister has a good point. The road, it's not like curvy, but it's not straight. So if you would have fell asleep, like, there was many ways that your car would have went off the road. None of them were in the way that she went. Not to mention, if you fall asleep, you would probably, I would assume you wouldn't put the foot on the gas harder, right? I mean, I don't know, but I would assume that your foot would be less on the gas, not more, if you're falling asleep.
Probably.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. But I just thought of something else. Her mom's also trying to say that it could have been that she was diagnosed with this thing called POTS. It's like postural ortho something, I don't know, but it's that thing like where you stand up fast and you feel like you're going to faint. My thing with that is, it's not vertical. It's called POTS. Like, it's I'll have to see. It stands for like postural something, but that's the thing though. It has to do with posture, like your posture. And so like when you stand up and you feel lightheaded, it's like low blood pressure type thing. But my thing is, she didn't stand up. So how did this happen? Because of POTS. She was already sitting down. So I feel like, I don't even know, like, the mom keeps pushing that. Even if you look at the Netflix thing, they asked McKenzie, what do you think happened? And you could tell that she was like, definitely, she was definitely given like what to say, but she's like, what I think the biggest speculation is that it was probably a medical incident. So yeah, this is the cops coming up on the scene.
You know what I noticed?
What?
It appears that like the initial impact was more towards the passenger side.
Oh, it is on the passenger side. The whole passenger side is like almost sawed in half. Wait till you see them go around. It's crazy. But they think at the very last minute that, well, they said, like the black box said, that she goes straight. She never puts her foot on the brake, but that at some point the shifter goes from, it's in drive and it goes to neutral real quick, but then right back in drive. And also around that same time, as she's going at the very end, the wheel goes right, but then it comes back, but then it goes right hard again. So I don't know if that was Dom trying to turn the wheel, but I almost feel like that might have, if it was, that could have, like when he turned it, she goes this way, and then I think it like spun around because she hits the sign, and then it winds up going into the passenger side instead.
Did anybody have their seatbelts on?
Over here now. Look. Okay, so the two no, they didn't. The two boys, but the girl, she did. But they're trying to use that in court as if like that was like proof that she meant to do this. I'm like, there's many things that like I feel like are against her. That one, I feel
well,
like
if you're arguing that they were tussling for the stuff, I would reckon that they would put their seat if they were alert.
Yeah, but could you do it that quickly?
You put it on faster than you can tussle with the brake with the shifter and also the.
Really? Don't you just like reach over and grab the wheel?
And the other thing is, you know how you get in the car? What about the person in the back? You would assume they're yelling. There's something going on. Why didn't the guy in the back? He can't do anything. Why isn't he putting his seatbelt on?
I don't know. It probably happened so fast. If you look up the actual crash, they have video of the crash. It
takes some time to get up to that speed.
Yeah, I think they said like 20 seconds.
Right. That's a good amount of time to put on a seatbelt.
I don't know that
Are you sure that they were conscious?
We're not positive, but I don't know how they weren't because they literally just leave the party like a minute or so before this. And they were all awake to leave. Like they all apparently though, and I don't know if this is true, but it was in a couple of the documentaries that McKenzie didn't want to drive Davion home, which I thought was weird because he was staying with Dom. So I thought that was weird. So that to me says like if she didn't want him to come, like why didn't she want him to come? But eventually Dom like gets her to say that she'll take him home too. So I don't know if she was saying that because like, which that would seem like even more premeditated.
It would.
About 2 weeks before, there's text messages where she accuses Dom of pulling her steering wheel to the right and almost running her off the highway. And she pulls over and she's texting his mom, telling her to that she needs to come get Dom right away because he tried to kill her and all this stuff. But this is the thing. So at first I was like, well, isn't that evidence that like he was whatever? But then I thought about it and I'm like, there are so many text messages where she's actually at fault, but she like gaslights you into thinking that like you did something. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were like arguing and she like threatened something and he got scared and went to touch the wheel and she made it as if he pulled it type thing that time. Like that. So I'm just saying, like,
just could have made it up because she already had the intention of doing something like this.
Well, she pulled
and that was going to be her. Right. But that could have been like if this was super intentional, right? And super premeditated, if these guys were maybe not even awake and she decided to do this, maybe that's the excuse that she was going to use.
Yeah, but she doesn't. That's what I mean. She doesn't use it. I don't know like why. I don't know if she thought that like, because her mom does say a lot of the time just to like trust the process.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, like, I mean, was she smoking marijuana around that time?
So they said that she was on a break because she was, I don't know if there's like this thing that you could get when you smoke pot for so long where I forget what it's called. It's like 3 letters, but it's like you start to feel like really sick and like you always feel sick to your stomach. You might feel like you're going to throw up. Apparently she was getting symptoms of that. So she like cut back on and she wasn't smoking at that time. However, if you look at the post-crash videos that she does, she's like smoking in about 99% of them. So I don't know if she just stopped smoking. But then my other thing is, and I don't know how much of a withdrawal she could have went through, but I don't think maybe a physical withdrawal, but could she have been going through like I don't know, like maybe she smoked when she was stressed. I have no idea. That's just speculation, but I don't know if that had anything to do with, because I feel like she was already like explosive as far as her, you know, demeanor.
It's interesting. I was hoping to
It's
find video of the crash.
all right.
All I
Let me
found
see.
so far was, I guess, the aftermath.
Wait, I got it. Crash. Let's see. There has to be. I mean, not that you would see anything
CCTV.
different. Wait, I'm trying to think of where else I've seen it. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me see. Is this it? I think I found it. I did.
See,
Hold
I
on.
found this, but I was hoping for like a bigger. So this is where she turns.
Oh, that's what I found. That's what I just got. Yes, this is where she turns. Yes. And then you'll see her fly down. It's in a few. Yep, that's it. But this one on Tubi gets it like up close, and you literally see her hit the thing. And I couldn't believe it. My husband told me, and I was like, there's no way. I was like, that has to be like a reenactment. And then I just watched it before we came on, and I was like, where did they get that video from? And why didn't they use that at the trial? Like, it literally looks like, because from the video you just saw, that's the one they played in court. That's the one I've seen. So I was like a little bit suspicious of this other one, but it literally looks like the exact same video. It's just looking from a different angle. So I don't know if they had a way of like zooming in, or you saw the Tubi one. People said they saw the Tubi one. There's a few of them that like, oh, here goes another one. Yes, here we go. If there's volume, hit the volume, then like unmute it. It's crazy.
I don't know. No, there's no volume.
There's no volume?
No.
Gotcha. I'll have to find the one with the volume. You have to hear it. It's crazy. But she's flying.
All right. So that at that speed, when did they say that the wheel jerked?
So there's a sign. Do you see the sign right in front of the car? That's not the building. That's a sign. She hits the sign first and then hits the building.
No, I understand that. But when did they say that the wheel jerked?
Right at the sign. So I guess it looked like they were about to hit the sign and somebody pulls the wheel. So then you see the car, like it winds up hitting.
See, I don't think that anybody was fighting for this. So I think that wheel jerking may have been the curb, may have been her trying to maybe avoid that, going for the brick. But like, you know, if somebody jerked the wheel going that fast on the road, the car would have had some problems.
Right, that's what I mean. Wouldn't you like spin?
You would. And
could that just been like her body at the very end, like rejecting that? Like, you know, like maybe. In other words, like, you know, like how they say like it's hard, like it's almost impossible to drown yourself. It's not, but like in other words, if you're trying to type thing, like to hold your head underwater because your body tries to fight it. So like, wouldn't that same thing happen here? Like, even if I don't know. She's flying. Or flip, someone said. Yes, it probably would have flipped if you pulled on it going that fast. She was going 95 to 100 miles an hour. Yeah, there goes the sign. So it winds up hitting on her side, and then they hit the wall. So I don't know if when they hit the sign, her car, I guess, spun around enough to where or no, I guess not. I'm trying to think where it hit the wall. I don't know. I don't know if it ever spun or if it just hits. But it's literally like crash. And then that's the wall right there where it gets blank. That was the wall.
I see the brake supply.
You do?
I do.
Where? Daniel.
Right before they hit the sign.
Hold on, let's see. Because they swear that
see, they're off. They're on.
Oh my God, Daniel. Why hasn't anybody ever said that or seen that?
As soon as she goes off, I mean,
you guys, this is like breaking news.
Yeah, that's that. I see
the
them
whole
turn
point
on.
of the trial is that she never hits the brake.
Yeah, right before the sign, she hits the brake.
Oh my God, play that again. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, let me just slow it down because I thought I saw him. And there.
Oh my God. What?
I mean, I would struggle.
That is huge. That's like big. That's like the whole point of the whole case is that she never applies her foot on the brake at all. That's their whole thing, is that like had she like that. So then if, oh my God, Daniel, it is, where is her defense team?
I don't know. I see the brakes applied.
Everybody's saying, Daniel, you're amazing. Wow.
Yeah, that's brakes applying before.
I mean, you could still argue that that's obviously, she could still intentionally do this, but just the fact that like, they're like, I mean, on the Netflix, on everything, the whole thing is about her never touching the brakes. Like that, I mean, everybody in the chat that has followed this can tell you that. Like, that was the whole thing. Yeah, there was no defense. Literally, there was no defense. Her defense team, I couldn't believe that her parents paid for that defense. Like, I couldn't believe it.
Like right here is where they turn on. And that's almost immediately after she leaves the road.
Oh, so you think she starts going off the road here?
Oh yeah, I think that's either right before she goes off the road. I don't know where's that sign at? Is that sign like on the road?
Sign set, you see the sign? It's literally like if you point your like go further with your mouse, right there. That's the car. Now go up a little bit. Like up a little bit more. That's this, like over to the right a tiny bit. That's the sign right there. That like box.
Yeah,
right
I see
there.
the sign.
That is the sign, and then she goes to the right of the sign is where the
But is where does the road end? Like, is she off the road right here?
It's like a T.
Okay, because I mean, it looks like yeah, and I don't think it's the taillights when she's hitting the sign, because she hasn't hit the sign yet. The car has not struck the sign here.
Wow.
It still hasn't struck the sign here. She's braking.
Oh,
right there is when she hits it, and it's continuing to brake, and then right there it turns off. That's probably the impact and the battery shutting off. But she definitely hit the brakes right there.
So somebody said, could that have happened from somebody changing into neutral?
No.
So you have to step on the brake.
That's brake applied lights.
Wait, why wouldn't the black box get that?
I have no idea.
I mean, I'm 100% with you. I think that is 100%.
But if I'm her defense attorney and I'm seeing this, I'm questioning, and the black box doesn't say that, I'm questioning everything the black box says.
Oh my God, Daniel. Someone just said they lied about her hitting the brakes. Oh my God, they had to have. Yeah, Chloe said that the EDR data they introduced during the trial said the brakes were never applied. That's literally like the whole case. And that looks like brake lights to me.
It looks like brake lights to me.
You guys, put a 1 in chat if you think that they're brake lights. Put a 2 if you think that it's like an anomaly of some sort. That's brake lights.
Yeah, that
like nobody ever watched this slow down that's like fighting for her. I don't get it. Everybody's going, wow, Daniel. Wow. Daniel broke the case. Everybody's putting 1s. I'm dead serious. That was a great catch. Steelers fan put a 5. I don't know what that means.
she doesn't like to agree with me.
Whatever 5 is, she knows you best.
No, yeah, those are definitely brake lights, which, like I said, if I'm her defense team and the black box doesn't say that, I am 100% questioning everything that's coming out of the black box. I mean, you can't dispute the speeding aspect, but you know, now you probably question a lot of things that are coming out.
The black box, it said that the black box got the last 4 or 5 seconds of the crash. That wasn't enough time for 4 or 5 seconds after. Like nobody could say that that was before the 4 or 5 seconds, right? Like she literally hits it right after that.
I mean,
like I'm saying, could somebody argue and say that?
The only thing I can think of is maybe she didn't like slam on the brakes. I don't know if if it's
that attorney sucked.
I'd have to probably speak with somebody from Cellbrite to know for sure, but maybe she tapped the brakes. And maybe that's why. I mean, a tapping of the brakes would still illuminate the brake lights, and maybe perhaps not record it.
So Webs
But
of Deceit says pushing down on the pedal to make the shift is what triggers the brake lights, not the movement of the gear shifter itself.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, you have to push down the brake lights only come on when you press the brakes.
And wait, lady makes a good point. If she breaks, then there's no way it was POTS, because if it was a medical thing, she wouldn't have been able to react. So it clearly wasn't the medical thing that she even says on Netflix that she thinks it was.
And if I'm also her defense attorney, and who was it that said that the roadway wasn't straight?
Oh, his sister.
Well, then my response would be, then you would assume that eventually she'd go off the road, right?
Right. Well, that's what she was saying.
Well, then what happened?
No, not really. She goes straight.
I mean, I'm not saying that that's what happened, but what I'm saying is, if I was her defense attorney, that's how I would argue that. I would say,
I think she's guilty too, but I think her defense attorney did such a bad job. I think both things could be true at the same time.
I don't know anything about this case. And I'm not saying one way or another they got something right or wrong.
I am so glad you did this live with us. That is like breaking news. Yeah, I don't think you even understand. Like, to you right now, it's probably not that big of a deal. But like, if you could see all of the documentaries, like everything, the trial, all the things, that was the big thing, is that she.
And the crazy thing is, because I started thinking to myself, that's why I wanted to check it real quick. Maybe it's just the angle. It's not. You can see them all the way across. There's no way that this is. She hit the brakes.
Oh, Webs of Deceit said, could she have been pressing the brake to shift back into drive? But I think that happened so quickly, like the neutral drive thing. Like, can't you put it in neutral?
Oh no, you can put it in neutral and drive without pushing the brakes.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can do that. I've done it before. I've been driving and I've accidentally popped it.
There was no evidence, like, other than the fact that she didn't press the brake. Like, that is the big thing. Like, that's their biggest thing. It's almost like the smoking gun for them, is that because she never hits the brake, that was intent. But if she hits the brake, wow, Daniel. I'm so glad you found this video.
I am too. I was all I did was look for it, but it looks like this was played in court. I don't understand how. I mean, I saw it. I saw it in real speed.
I was going to say, you put it back in the real speed, because it happened so fast for me that I think I'm just so taken back by the fact that I know that there's two people in there that are about to be gone, that I don't even think now I'm not going to be able to not see it.
Yeah, I see the brakes.
I do too. Now that you pointed it out, it looks like everybody should have seen it, but nobody says anything.
I have, I don't know. Now,
oh wow.
Now, I mean, I think I'll be honest with you. If I was on a jury, and I would have a problem saying this is murder.
Me too. I think Truth Truth was just saying that it's more like reckless driving and manslaughter than it would be murder.
And one of those is, I don't see brake lights, just tail lights. You can see the tail lights too. So the tail lights are going to be the lights, your tail lights that are on
like either side, right?
Yeah, your tail lights at night, they come on, but when you apply the brakes, they illuminate brighter. Let me slow it down. And the one in
the middle goes on too, right? When you brake, there's something in the middle or something.
So,
right, let's see.
One of the things that I notice is that when the lights come on, I can see both the passenger and the driver tail lights, meaning we can see the entire back end of the rear end. When do you think that becomes visible? Probably about right here. And definitely right here, we should be able to see the same red glow that comes on here in about half a second. See, it's still not on. It's still not on. Still not on.
And there goes the sign.
There they are.
Oh my God. I see. You could see all three of them. You see the one in the middle and the two.
Yeah.
Now that you pointed it out, I can't stop seeing it.
Yeah. You can see the middle brake light too.
Yes.
I see what you're talking about.
Breaking news, you guys. Daniel breaks the case. This literally is breaking news. Like, if I don't think you understand, if you watch this trial, and like I've watched everything and all of like the police interviews, everything, they tell all the witnesses that come in, like the friends, the people from school, all the people, like they literally tell them, they're like, she never hits the brake, and like everybody's face changes, like she never hits the brake.
Yeah. The C Joy goes, with the claim he was breaking up with her, her phone pinged at that route and the crash site 3 days before. That's interesting. Is that true?
Okay, so it does, but this is considered a breakthrough, like a breakthrough road where like people, like, so instead of going all the way around, if you cut through, I said breakthrough, I meant cut through. You could cut through right here and you get out closer to where they go. So this is the way that they took off. But the documentary I saw today said that on the one day, 3 days before, she did 7 times. That would be weird to me if she does 7 times. But just being there by itself.
Oh, you're breaking up, Dr. Vona, quite a bit. I'm not sure if it's on your end or mine.
Happens, you guys always.
Yeah, I don't know. You're breaking up quite a bit. Kathy says the black box is forensic evidence that she never braked. Sorry. I mean, you know, forensic evidence, I hate to say this, but they're not 100%. There's like 99.9% correct on certain things, and they're usually not 100% for this reason, right? There's that one and off chance that something is wrong. But I trust what I'm seeing here. And I'm seeing like a significant change. Like that's red compared to right here.
I see the 3. Like you can see the middle brake.
Yeah, that's braking. That's braking, guys. I mean, I don't side usually with.
Well, that's the thing. I think two things could be true. I think 2 things could be true, right? I think you could still think that she did this intentionally, but brakes. Like, but my thing is like, get her for the things that she does, right? Not for these other things that, like, I feel like she had, like, her defense was terrible.
See, Chloe is saying the brake lights illuminate due to a built-in safety feature of her vehicle trying to avoid a collision. So could her vehicle be trying to apply the brakes? Like, you know how, let me see if that's 2018 Toyota. Let's find out.
I was going to say that's like a pretty nifty feature.
Mm-hmm.
Like it does it in my car. I hate it.
20. And so apparently, I mean, detectives, I mean, if this is true, they saw the brake lights. Why wasn't that brought up in court?
Why? Or any of the documentaries that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. My car
does
the
that detective report. I want to see that.
Detective report. Which one? There's like, I have them right here. Let me see.
Let's see. 2018 Toyota.
Like in the warrant? Wait, hold on. Let's see. I'll look for it too.
Rear lights. I mean,
that's crazy. I mean, that's like braking. It's not.
Mm-hmm. Does 2018 comes standard with the Toyota Safety Sense P, which includes a pre-collision system with automatic emergency braking. But I would assume that would be in the black box.
The black box, Sirius says the black box also indicates that it was put into neutral multiple times as well. I wonder where the shifter was. Like, was it in the center?
I believe so.
Well, that would say to me that maybe somebody else was trying to stop the car. Or like
It could be.
divert it.
It could be. I mean, how many times? How many times did she put it in neutral?
I don't know that I know an exact number. I thought it was like twice or once, but Sirius just said multiple times, and Sirius is usually right about stuff. So, but I don't know what multiple times is. Like, I don't know how many times that would be going down that street. But even more than one, like even once, isn't that still showing something?
I mean, it's not hard to not get into neutral and put it back into drive. My thing is she was accelerating pretty quickly. How long? I mean, let's pull this back up from where this turn here is. Let me put it in normal speed. From when she turns the corner and then begins to accelerate to here to over 100 miles an hour. How long of a distance is that?
I don't know exactly. That's a good question. But you could see up here, it only takes like a few seconds if you look at the timer to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't take very long to get from one spot to the next. I don't know. I guess I could look it up.
Because I just struggle with the fact that she would begin to drive in this manner. Both individuals are conscious, and none of them put a seatbelt on. The back passenger didn't have a seatbelt on either, right?
Well, this is the thing, though. They're kids, right? And they said, like, she says in one of the things too to her mom that like we all speed, da da da. Like, my thing is, I don't know that they would have. From what other people said, she would speed a lot. So I don't know that. I mean, unless they were arguing and she said something verbally, like, I'll take us out right now type thing. Like, I don't know that the kid in the back seat would have even realized.
She's driving very recklessly, dangerously. I mean, I think you realize, especially if they're arguing to the point where the gear is going into neutral, the steering wheel is being yanked. I just struggle that's not a natural situation that, you're sitting there. Somebody starts driving really, really fast and dangerous, that you don't just reach over and put your seatbelt automatically.
It's 7/10 of a mile.
That's a pretty good distance. It's almost 3/4 of a mile.
So it's 3,820 feet.
So she must have been gunning it, pedal to the metal for a Camry to have raced over.
Miles an hour street.
Yeah. And so to be going that fast on the 35-mile-per-hour street, I don't know. I just struggled to believe that they were conscious. I wonder if they were asleep.
I don't know, because I think it literally was like close to the house. Like, I don't think they were in the car long enough. I'm looking it up right now, though. It said the evidence does not clearly show that Dom or Davion were asleep in the car when she accelerated. It says what it does say is that earlier that night, the group was at a friend's house, and it was described as that they just a normal sleepover. So these kids have girl and boy sleepovers. It's weird. Anyway, it said that McKenzie was asleep on the couch around 3 to 4 a.m. while Davion was awake watching TV with another friend. Dom wasn't seen at the moment, which is interesting to me, because I'm thinking, as somebody that studies that looks at relationships and stuff, she was such a jealous person that I could see her waking up and Dom not being right next to her wherever she was, and that her being well, where were you? What were you doing? She was so suspicious of everything he did. And I'm wondering, could that even have been a reason why she wants to leave? It says that the event data showed the accelerator was fully depressed before the crash. And it says here no braking occurred and the front seatbelts were engaged. Oh.
So he did have a seatbelt on.
No, he didn't. I guarantee I know what happened. I seen in another video where where you see the seatbelts clicked in, but he's sitting on it. Like, you know, when you just click it in so it stops doing the ding, 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 but you could sit. So it's like behind you.
Yeah.
That's what I think happened. Because there's other videos where you see it it clicked in, but it's not on.
Did they yeah, I'm seeing people say that they you can see the passenger with his phone out, and that's quite possible. And if he's sitting on his seatbelt, then that would be an obstacle to get out of under. So now I can understand if he's sitting on his seatbelt why he didn't put his seatbelt on.
And could it be that Davion had a seatbelt on and took it off at the last second to try to like do something?
I don't know. I mean, did they look at their phones?
They did. And Davion's friends went to the police. And apparently they have, I guess they live in like a neighborhood. I don't have this for my kids, but you could pay to where like my kids have that 360 app or whatever, Life 360. But apparently you could pay for like a service where it literally shows you detailed stuff. So they were able to tell the cops, they showed the cops their exact route, how fast they were going. And it said on their 360 app that the brakes weren't pressed either. So that's interesting.
How
Like
old
the
is
Life
360
360 app says that, yeah, it said that there was no brake because the kid says that in one of the police videos. He's like, and look, it says that there's no brake. And he had to explain like the 360 app to the cop.
But how? I mean, the 360 app's tied to the phone. How does the phone know if the brakes were applied? I mean, whether or not
okay, it is pretty nifty. I have the free version, and my daughter was in an accident, and I got a text message that said you should call Gianna because there was a forceful brake, and her phone fell. So it knew that she was in the car. I guess because as a human, you can only walk so fast. So if you're going 30 miles an hour, you're not walking.
right, but the vehicle braked in this situation, whether it was McKenzie,
but it said that it didn't in the 360 app.
Yeah, so I mean, technology, man. Because clearly we saw in the video whether it was McKenzie or whether it was the vehicle doing it on its own, the vehicle braked, right? And so
how do you find out which one it is, though?
I'm sure the black box would say.
I'm surprised they didn't talk about that at the trial.
I am too. I mean, that would have been something that, I mean, especially if you're trying to point out that there was no braking, you would want to account for that because if somebody noticed that, you're going to say, hey, that looks like braking.
Right? Like you would like exactly like you think they would have brought it up just to like so that nobody can question it. Like, okay, I know you see the brakes, but
but yeah, no, that's interesting. But you know, my concern is like, were they looking at their phones to see, you know, recent activity? Were they on their phone right up until the point that the crash occurred?
I think Davion was. I think Davion was on his phone. I don't know what Dom was doing.
And which one's Davion? Is that the boyfriend or
The
the
one in the
backseat
back
guy?
seat. That's the one in the back seat.
But he didn't have his seatbelt on either?
No, but for all we know, he could have just been playing with his phone. Who knows if they were like arguing in the front seat? Like that would have been uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I could see like myself being like, oh my God, like trying to like look at my phone just to like so that it didn't look like I was staring at them fighting or something. I don't know. But now I'm just speculating on what I would do.
Right. How long was the trial? Was it a lengthy one?
It wasn't. I mean, I think it was like a week or so. It wasn't like months or anything. There was like no. When I tell you the defense was like horrifying, they didn't put up not one expert at all. So like it was crazy.
I mean, what expert could you get?
Yeah, I
somebody
think it was
to
like
say that she did apply the brakes. I mean, that's the only thing that you could.
Or you could get a doctor to say that that they can't say exactly, but that it could have been POTS or a seizure or something. Like I feel like you could pay an expert, like you could find an expert anywhere with the money. Like we watch trials all the time, and we'll see experts on the other side, and we're like, how is this person even saying that like with a straight face? But it's like money talks.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, Some experts will say anything for some money. I 100% agree with you there.
So I'm like, why didn't they put anybody like up on the stand? That's crazy. Siri says clarification is shifted into neutral once and then right back into drive.
Yeah, you can do that. You don't have to apply the brakes. You can do that easily.
So do you think that that's an accidental thing though? Like what are the chances like that you throw your car into neutral and then drive again?
If you're arguing with somebody and you talk with your hands, it's not that uncommon. I don't know if she does.
My thing is, so if it went right back into, I don't know how that would work, but that is a good question. I don't know why it would go into neutral and then right back into drive, if that was something that she did or somebody else did to try to stop it.
I don't know. It's unfortunate. I feel bad for the victims and their families.
Oh, me too. And Dom's sister, I'm sure everybody knows, but Dom's sister recently started a podcast like a few days before the Netflix drop because she felt like everybody was, giving McKenzie's side and and that she wanted to be there for her brother, which I totally get. And it's called The Big Sister Unhinged and it's on YouTube. And she already has like 10,000 subscribers and she just started. So it's higher than that. She probably has 20,000 already. Like she's doing a great job. So, and she's talking to everyone. We should get her on the show and ask her questions. Yeah. Let's do it, Daniel.
Let's try it.
I'll email her.
Do it. I'll be more brushed up. Like I said, I don't know much about this case. I only know the very, very minute details. I'm going to check out the Netflix now and see what they say. And see what that avenue is.
There's a bunch of them. So, I mean, there's so many of them. But I will definitely email her and see if she can come with us.
The Netflix, what type of light are they trying to play it in? As if she didn't have the proper defense or she's guilty?
Well, that's interesting. So they try to play it both like, I feel like they try to give they're not really like going hard for one side or the other. However, I think that by having McKenzie in it, so Davion's sister said that they filmed with them for like 8 hours a day for 4 days, and she was only in the documentary for a few minutes. So they clearly, once they had McKenzie and stuff, so I feel like because she talked, they used up like segment of it. So I feel like it might look like they were trying like that it was a little bit biased on McKenzie's side, but I think that wound up happening because she ends up giving a statement. But I feel like without that, it would have really been 50-50. I don't know how other people took it. But the one thing that they don't bring, well, there's a few things they don't bring up at Netflix, but one of the big ones is like that talk between, you have to look up the gibberish between her and her mom. They don't bring this up at all in the documentary, nor do they bring it up at trial, which I thought was weird. Like literally as soon as the cops are in there, like asking her questions in the very beginning, she's still in the hospital and she says to the cop, while he asking her questions, can I ask my mom something real quick? And he said, yeah. And she says her mom, and then she's like, and you could tell it's like not a language. Like you could tell it's like, because it's like, it's big lab. It's not like, when you would say like, if you were saying the word Daniel, you would say annual day. But when you say like a bunch of words really fast, that sounds goofy. Well, she uses, instead of like A at the end, she uses E's, like E-E-Z. So you would say like D-Zan-Eziel. That's how your name would be said. I pretty much like, but it's crazy. But anyway, so what she says to the mom, they decoded it in front of the cop. She says to the mom, can I tell the police that I had a seizure? Can I tell the police something like that? That's what she said. I believe that's the exact quote.
That's crazy.
Right in front of the cops. So that just shows me a sense of entitlement and her not like her thinking that she was above the law in some way. Like, why would you think that that's okay to say a secret language in front of the police? Like, as if they're not going to be able to decode it.
Right.
People are saying her gibberish is unreal. Oh, and the mom, Casey's right. The mom says, yeah, we can. So the mom answers her and says, yeah, we can. Like, yeah, we could tell them that.
All right. So let's see this real quick.
All right.
Thank you, Jeff, for sending me this.
Oh, this one's good. The killer cases. This one's on Hulu, I think. Oh, this is the one, Jeff. Wait till you see this, Daniel. This is the one I was talking about.
Okay. So the brake lights come on before the sign. I would say even before, because when I was doing it like frame by frame, there was a few frames before it hit the sign. I think the road here, it looks like there's some sort of like, I guess, yard, but it's like inclined. I think that's what probably set it off.
Oh, I think they said, now that I see this, I think they said that they think she might have swerved to not hit a tree. But hits the sign and then the wall. So I don't know.
Let's see. I'm going to slow it down.
Yeah, but that's the only one that I've seen that you could see it from that angle.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jeff.
Okay, so now this is at like 25% speed.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, this one's actually very clear too, so we'll be able to see
it is
when
clear.
it is. Oh, they cut out that ink. Why would they do that?
Here now.
That's
no, you can't really see
unfortunate.
it.
That's unfortunate. I'm pretty upset about it, to be honest.
But if you watch this one, the Killer Case Files on Hulu, I think this one is, it's season 4, episode 12. If you watch this one, they show this over and over and over. So you'll get like different like perspectives of it.
I don't like this though, because they're not showing the truth here. Regardless if it's the system. I mean, if it's the vehicle system that's doing it, they're purposely cutting away before the brake lights come on. And then
right.
Then they put it in this angle here.
Yeah, why don't we see them come on there?
They're already engaged.
Oh.
And so all we see are the tail lights, which from this angle, because they're already engaged, it just appears that they're the tail lights on. Exactly. And that's the difference between, and this is so, I ain't gonna lie, this is kind of why I don't like law and crime sometimes. It's, this is weird. Now again, hey, the detectives put in the notes that it was a system. I'm sure the black box said that. But this is some tomfoolery. I don't like this, but hey, it is what it is. Right when the brakes are about to hit, they switch the angle.
So then you can't even see that they're not, because this is what I saw, and I was like, I didn't see no brakes like that. I didn't see any brakes.
Here's the problem with what folks were saying, that I don't know what the distance is from when.
0.72.
What? Of when the
like the distance of the street here?
No. The distance between the time, the distance from when the vehicle detects that there's a collision and it applies the brakes. What is that distance that it does that? Because we're not seeing here, as the vehicle approaches in, I don't see the vehicle's lights illuminate, which would mean that the brakes are already applied before the vehicle is entering the scene here.
And you don't see them go off either, which means that they were applied that whole time, right?
Yeah. Right there they go off. But yeah. And I wish I could. What have we got?
Oh, wow.
And so, and it's because we saw it on the other one. I mean, like I said, if the detectives' notes say one thing, I sure hope they're right, because I don't like this, the way they switch they cut it off right before, and look at how far away the vehicle is. I mean, this is the roadway. It hasn't entered the intersecting road yet. here, at least at this point, they're applied. We know that from that other video. My question is, like, how far away from either that tree or this sign, what is creating it to hit the brake?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Oh
because
my God, Daniel, duh. You guys, think about what Daniel just said. Why would the brakes automatically apply? Because how does the car know that it's about to crash? It wouldn't.
Well, how far would it? I mean, it would. There's sensors, but how
But
far
this
is
the thing,
that
how does
happening?
it know that it's about to crash, though? Wouldn't it think that it's still going?
Well, it's not so much that part. There's sensors that are going to indicate your speed and an upcoming obstacle, and it'll tell you avoid collision, avoid collision. I don't know. Maybe it's the sign. Maybe it. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
And
that's what I would
my
like
thing
to
is,
know.
could it be that, so they say that the black box is only 5 seconds. So I don't know, like, how I'm gonna have to go and look back how far before they hit the wall is 5 seconds. Like, was that before the brakes? Was it after the brakes? There's not 5 seconds between the brakes and the wall, is there?
That speed, maybe.
I wonder.
I mean,
could that be
yeah.
why it never detected something if it just got the last few things and it was already on?
No, I mean, if I would assume that the applying of the brakes due to a collision would be recorded in the event box. But like the other thing that's weird here, are there pictures of the roadway here?
Oh yeah, you could find pictures of the street lit up.
Because
it's
if the brakes are applied here, there should be some skid marks here or some tire marks.
Oh, there was there. So it wasn't. I think in the grass you could see skid marks in the grass. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there are skid marks.
This looks
but it didn't.
I suspect that the brakes were applied while it was still in the street, whether it was her or the vehicle doing it on its own.
But why would the vehicle? So my question is, why would the vehicle? Like,
well, there's sensors. There are sensors that can determine.
When my car goes off, it only does it if I'm so close to the car. Like, if I get like real close to the car in front of me, then it'll do it. But it doesn't do it back here. It like only does it when I get close enough, and then it pulls me back. So my thing is, wouldn't that have been too soon for it to go by itself?
I don't disagree. That's one of the questions that I had: is what is the range there?
Yeah, like how does it know that it's about to hit something?
I'm gonna look
because
it
up. Doesn't for a few seconds. Oh, Daniel, I have so many questions now. I'm gonna be doing this now for the next day. I'm gonna be looking at all this shit. And when I say day, I mean like all 24 hours. I probably won't sleep. I don't know why I'm so like, I don't know. There's something about this case that I'm like, I don't know if it's because I have a daughter the same age, but my daughter's not an a-hole like her. I don't know if it's because there's so many TikToks and Instagrams that you could watch that you could see her behavior. I don't know if that's it. There's like so many things, or if it's that I study psychology, so I'm seeing so many abnormal things because I also teach development. So, but there's something about this case that I'm like attached to hard for some reason.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
But I'm glad that I got you into it now. I can't believe you just. I still think that that's a big deal because I don't remember ever hearing a process. If somebody knows where I could find the information about the prosecutor saying that it goes off type thing with it, I would love to see where to find that. But if not, I'll find it on my own.
See, here's the weird thing.
If it exists, I'll find it.
It says here that this only happens if the vehicle's going 9 miles or less.
What only happens?
The automatic brakes. Like when there's a collision. It won't do it if you're going faster than 9 miles an hour.
That's what I'm saying. How would it know that you're about to hit something? If you were driving on a highway going 100 miles an hour and there was an exit coming up and you were getting off and you're like slowing down, but you're still going 70 miles an hour, could you imagine your car just braking on you? Like, that would be ridiculous.
That would be insane.
So when you said that, that's what I was just thinking. I'm like, wait a minute, why would it automatically come on? Like there wasn't anything like I said, mine only does it like it said there when I'm going under. It's always under 10 miles an hour. It's like when I get a little too close to the car in front of me, it'll pull me back. I hate it, but it does it. But it never has done it while I'm driving.
Well, there's the cruise control stuff that can kind of keep you from a safe distance, but it won't slam on the brakes. And for it to do the whole potential impact detecting brake thing, it's 9 miles an hour or less.
Daniel, why didn't her defense attorneys look this up? Again, I still think she's guilty as hell, but like I feel like when they say like we should have like a proper trial, I just don't feel like I feel like there's so many things. Like I could sit here for like a 4-hour live and just go over all the things. Like there's so many things I just can't believe.
The problem is that the defense attorney should have gotten us an expert in like Cellbrite and all this other stuff to look into.
And they didn't. And I think that's like, I don't know. I still think that two things could be true. Like I think her defense team could have messed up big time. And I also think that she could still have done this on purpose. Like, so I don't think that by me thinking that about the defense, that means that I'm on her side. I'm just saying, I'm not even a lawyer and I see so many problems with their defense team, but I still think that she did this on purpose, in my opinion. Even if it was just a split second, I wasn't always convinced though. But then the more I thought about it, the more like she literally reminds me of my cousin Adele. And I've never met anybody that reminded me of my cousin Adele. And my cousin Adele, I swear to God, would have done something like thank God she didn't. But she would have told you that like there were times where she threatened things that I was like, oh my God, like, are you crazy? One time when we were kids, we were like 9, and she literally grabbed a bottle of pills and was like, if you don't help me clean my room, I'm going to eat all of these pills and die, and then you're going to feel bad. But then like had me promise that I wouldn't tell anybody that she just did that. And I never did. Like we got older and we were laughing and like telling, but I'm like thinking about it and I'm like, oh my God, like after we left, I went to my kids and I'm like, if anybody ever tells you not to tell me something, please tell me. But I'm like, and she even said, like, as we got older, like she's threatened things. And I mean, unfortunately, she's passed away now. I wish I could call her about this, but I feel like she would have done this in a split second, like been like, you know what? Like, that's it. We're both going to go. I almost feel like it was like, if I can't have you, nobody will.
You know what's weird though? You know what I just thought of? And if you're going faster than 9 miles an hour and there's like a collision alert that comes on, it still will say collision. It won't hit the brakes, but it will alert you. I mean, I don't know. If I was her defense attorney, I would say, you know, you have the brakes applied here. You would have to get an expert to come in here and testify that the brakes aren't applied unless you're going 9 miles per hour or less. But if that is true, I would kind of question the report from the officer and why they're trying to put that information out that way.
Seriously, I don't like that. That's shady.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at what A&E did, or Law and Crime, in that video that I just showed that Jeff sent, and if that's the stuff that they're playing like this, where you have this video being cut off right before the freaking brake lights come on, I think that's a problem.
And this was Law and Crime, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that.
This is A&E, Deadly Teen Wreck, season 4, episode 12. But you know, again, I think she committed it. I don't know anything about this crime, guys. I don't know anything about it other than what we're seeing here. But I don't like the fact that right before the brake lights come on, they switch it up.
They really do. And the worst part, not the worst part, but her, then it's, you get like a year to apply for an appeal, and her defense team applied 1 day too late, so it got denied. But my thing is like, why would a prisoner be punished for that? Or a criminal? Like, as much as I think that, you know, the criminal is a criminal, like, if it wouldn't that be the, like, a lawyer, I would feel like, isn't that like a bar thing? Chloe, do you know, Chloe, if you're still here? Like, why would I get penalized if my attorney does it a day late? And the court denied it because they said, like, if we make an exception for this case, then we would have to make an exception for all of them.
I don't know. That's crazy.
Right? Mm-hmm. 1 day late. Literally filed it 1 day late.
And what was the I guess the grounds for their appeal?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to look at it. Probably effective counsel, whatever it's called.
Well,
her mom now is trying to get it. Her mom's trying to argue now that one of the big parts of the trial was that 2 weeks before, there was, like I said, there was that incident where they pull over and they call Dom's mom to pick Dom up because she says he tried to run her off the road. But during the court, it's testified that it was the opposite, and that she was the one that that threatened to drive them off the road. The thing is, she then get found guilty, all this stuff. This Netflix thing comes up, and the mom said she started looking at the text messages and found the text messages where McKenzie saying, you know, Dom just tried to run me off the road and kill me. She says it with her friend Rosie in their text. She's like, can you believe today Dom tried to kill me? Da, 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 da. So my thing is, like, right there where, like, I never saw the other text the other way around. Although I do think there's a possibility that you could be that manipulative, that, you know, you know, threaten or something, and he thinks something's going to happen, and he goes to touch your wheel, maybe not even touch it, and you make a big deal like, you just tried to kill me. So I think that that's possible too. But if you look at the text messages, it's not the way that they said it during court. But that's what her mom's trying to get it. Like, I don't know if you would call it overturned or whatever you would call it, or that's what her mom's trying to appeal.
Well, I mean, it'd make a difference, you know, if she has the possibility of getting out. I think it's, I think Steelers fan Brittany put in there 2 consecutive, not congruent terms of 15. So consecutive, I believe, runs back to back. And so even if she gets,
she's doing them at the same time.
Oh, she's running them at the same time.
Same time. So in 15 years, and she's already been in there for 4.
Well, if this changes to manslaughter, she probably can get out within the next few years, couple years.
And do you want to know what the unfortunate thing will be about that, you guys? Is that, unfortunately, I feel like she'll be like the next Gypsy Rose, where, like, she's going to wind up like that. Where I almost feel like, what does this teach our kids? Like, if she gets famous or gets rich off of this, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just wrong. Like, I think about Gypsy Rose, like that whole thing. Like, would she really be as famous as she is if she didn't kill her mom?
Well, no, of course not. But I mean, that's some people, that's just what happens. That's a product of what occurs sometimes when you're it sucks.
But I'm like, what does that say about us? Do you know what I mean?
There are some other cases. I think there's one case that comes to mind that I thought this young lady should have ended up guilty for killing her boyfriend, running him over, you know, in Massachusetts, but it didn't go that way. And I think about it in that manner too. But, you know, hey, I accept the verdict on that one. She was found not guilty. She was acquitted. Good for her. I still think she did it, but, you know, the law and the rules are the way they are. And so, you know, when I was a police officer, I never had that situation where somebody I arrested got off on something. I think I was batting like 100%. It was pretty crazy. But the reason behind it was because I was pretty good at my report writing. I was very detailed. I left very little room for anybody to argue for anything else. And that's what the prosecutor and the defense and the district attorney told me. It's like, oh man, we love your reports. They're super detailed. Everybody across the board either pled out or were found. Well, I never went. There was only one hearing or one trial that I was supposed to go to court for, and it was a guy lit the bonfire before it was supposed to go on, so we charged him for arson because he almost killed his friend. He set him on fire by accident throughout this process. His friend ended up removing his pants and you know, he ended up, you know, not only having some burns, but yeah, it could have ended up really bad. And so in that case, the guy tried to fight it, and that went years. And I guess he assumed because I wasn't a police officer anymore. I had already left department and moved away, and I was living in a different place. That if he fought it long enough, maybe I just wouldn't show back up to court. I walked in, walked into the. I got subpoenaed. I had to go. You know what I mean? I was the arresting officer.
Oh
And so
wow.
I showed up, and he pled guilty.
There you go.
So
Well, I think
it
don't they
was
say
pretty
like
quick.
when you can't fight for guilt, or like if you're guilty, you try to fight the process. So it just sounds like you were really good at what you did, so therefore it was hard to fight that process.
Yeah, well, well, everything I covered all my bases, anything. So, like, if I pulled somebody over, let's just say it was a DWI stop, I would indicate that. Let's just say they were speeding. I would put in the margin of error inside of my report to indicate that they were still speeding, to validate just the probable cause for the stop. And if I had reason to believe that it was DWI, then I would also indicate that I had other details that, or other clues, so to speak, whether they be, swerving, speeding, slowing down too quick, running stop signs, those type of things. And I was very detailed in those things, and in what it was that the behavior, the smell, the scene, like across the board. I left no stones unturned when I wrote my
You like
reports.
felt like
And
you were there when you read it.
I made sure
That's
that there
good.
wasn't that somebody wasn't going to get off on something because I made a mistake.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just, I took really good pride in my work, and I still do in everything that I do. And so, I made sure. And if, I'd looked at other people's reports, and they were like, I saw this vehicle traveling on this date and time at this speed, and it was over the speed limit. So I pulled it over. And as I approached the vehicle, I smelled alcohol, and I asked the person to step out, and they failed the 3 field sobriety tests. And I was like, man, if I was this guy's defense attorney, I'd eat you up, man. You wrote 4 paragraphs here.
Well, thank God you did a good job when you read.
Yeah. But in this case here, with McKenzie, I don't know it enough. I'm going to go through the evidence to lead one way or another. I'm skeptical.
I can't wait
I'm
till you get through
skeptical.
the evidence.
Yeah, I'm skeptical on this whole non-breaking thing.
Yeah, I am too now.
I mean, maybe not skeptical is the right word. I got questions when it comes to the breaking aspect, because if the report indicates that's what it says, that it was because of that, there should be evidence of that. There should be an event recorded on that black box that the vehicle braked to avoid collision, that the system did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. This was so fruitful, this whole live. No, I'm being dead serious. I can't wait to because I really felt like before we went live, I think I told you before we came on, I'm like, Daniel, I know this case better than any case that we've ever covered. We could have nothing and I could still have a whole live on it. And now I feel like there is something I need to figure out. So that's good.
Yeah.
So now I have a reason to keep looking into it, because my kids were like, Mom, we're starting to get worried. They're like, enough with this. When I tell you I read every single text message, there's thousands of pages, and I've read every one.
Oh, geez. Yeah. See, I don't disagree that there's probably some sort of issue here that she went off the rails and she accelerated and stuff, or that they were having problems. Were they having problems? I'm assuming they were, right? Somebody said something about a breakup.
Oh, at the couple? Oh, Daniel, when we hang up, I'm going to send you. He recorded her about, I think it was a week before this happened. She's literally outside the house going, Dom, let me in. If you don't let me in 10 seconds, we're going to have problems. And she's like 10, 9, but she does this for 10. You have to hear. She calls him a little bitch, everything. She's like, you little bitch, open the door. She's like, if you don't open the door, you're not going to dinner with your mom. I was like, wait, what? But he records the whole thing, and that went into court too. And that does make her look really bad. That recording.
See, that's probably why they wanted to do the bench trial.
Oh, I see. Because of the emotion.
Yeah, because of the recordings of her going unhinged. That's not going to look good. And that probably I mean, you know, hindsight being 2020, if she, and I don't want to put this out there to be in a weird way, but in the Karen Reed case, there was some pretty horrible things that she was saying to her boyfriend, right before, after I believe she struck him. She called saying, "I effing hate you," blah, 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 and all this other stuff. Um, they were able to get around that. Now, they had a really excellent defense team. I don't think she did.
No, she didn't at all. She did not. But that might be a good thing because she might have gotten off on it if she did. And I feel like in her whole life, like if you look at all the things, like she does have a criminal record, but in my opinion, it's because she's gotten out. Like she's has like they call it pretty privilege or whatever. Like I feel like she's been able to talk her way out of things. And I want to make sure nobody said anything, but I just want to put it out there because it'll bother me. When I say that I read every message, I feel like it's like I don't want to ever violate someone's privacy. So I didn't read it for that purpose. The reason I read it was because it almost like before all the evidence and stuff, that was the first piece of evidence that I had. And it seemed hard to believe that McKenzie could be like that cruel or whatever. But if you read these messages, you see real quick, like you could see this whole thing playing out and you could see like the red flags. So when I read them, it wasn't for like juicy type info. It was more just to see behavior patterns. And I think that there was just so many signs here, and I just this was a clear case of domestic violence, right? But I think that they went back and forth, but at the end, she just was, just overpowering as far as like, she was just so mean. I have to send you that last voicemail. It is so mean. And he didn't record it on his phone, which says to me that he might have tried to record things in the past and she saw it on his phone and got rid of it. He recorded it on his friend's phone. So that says to me that he was like, because he was probably, I've had friends that have sent me things when we were younger, and the whole point of sending it to me or to another friend was so that in case the boyfriend or the husband found it, if they erased it, that we would still have it. So, he felt threatened enough that he used his friend's phone to take that video.
That's interesting. It definitely speaks to the toxicness of the relationship. That's horrible. Wow. That's great. I want to get all that information, and we should do this again.
Please. I would love to.
And that way we can talk more about some of the evidence. I'd like to see the actual evidence itself and go through it and read the reports as well. Because, one of the things is like, I feel like the defense probably should have gotten an expert on the vehicle telemetry to determine whether or not if it was braking, if it was speeding, all this other stuff. Did they have no experts in that, or they just took the word of the prosecution's expert?
It was like, I have to see what else I could find of the trial, but from what I know, no, they didn't run on an expert. I know that to be sure, but there was no experts. I couldn't believe it.
It's interesting. Well, what do you think? Do you think is she trying to get a new trial or something?
Oh yeah, she thinks this is the thing, you guys. I think that this is a case of permissive parenting big time. So I think her parents were like friends instead of parents. I think it's hard to be a good parent, but it's worth it, right? If you're going to be a parent, you should probably, make sure you're doing something right. Her parents were way too much of a friend. They still are. Right now, what's his name? Crime Circus, the clown guy. He apparently he's got her back, and he puts videos out to defend her. And the mom and dad they give him a shout out on the Netflix thing. It's the craziest thing. But they're McKenzie genuinely believes that there's people out there. She wanted people to protest in the streets. She wants Kim Kardashian to be her attorney because Kim Kardashian gets people who aren't guilty. Who were accused of being guilty. She literally thinks that people are just going to believe her, I guess, eventually, which is very narcissistic behavior, in my opinion. Not diagnosing her. I'm just saying the behaviors, but that's usually how that then starts out. I don't know. I don't know if she thinks that she's innocent or she thinks that it's hard to prove that she's guilty. I don't know, but she's hell-bent on getting her delusions of grandeur. Yep. Or she definitely has delusions of grandeur.
That's what it sounds like to me. Man. This is wild. I had no idea. I'm gonna have to watch the Netflix. I'm interested. I'm gonna watch the Netflix and let you guys know what I
Please
think.
do. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it. So please do.
And truth exposed, I agree with a lot of what you're saying there about that case as well. That one,
I never covered that case.
well, the problem with the Karen Reed case is that a lot of people jumped into a bunch of these theories, and even as they started to get proved to be not true, people kept sticking to their guns, and coming up with the wildest things. Like, for instance, there was a heart rate monitor for Jennifer McCabe, and Connor was heavy in the show, and she was going to come on the show and kind of debate me. And I kind of walked her into a corner because she was like, "Oh man, they all planned this." And I go, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "When?" That night. I was like, "Man, like, how did they plan it? Like, they thought about this. This is what they were doing. This is, she's not a cop, right?" She's like, "No, she's not. She's not." So this must have been like exciting, intensifying, correct? Yeah. Why doesn't it show up on her heart rate monitor? Why is it 60 beats per minute all night? And she was
You and
like,
True
"What?
think
What?"
that she's guilty, right? I
Oh,
I
yeah.
forget. Like, okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
was gonna say
And
I
then
know
and
you
then
still have
she
to
was
see
like,
you. I just remember.
and then she was like, she told me, "Oh, well, you know what I see in that heart rate monitor stuff? That she don't sleep." And then I go, "Connor, your heart doesn't stop when you sleep, right?"
Hmm. That's a
But
good one, right?
the other thing is too, there was footsteps that were calculated, but there were, the other thing that the pro Karen Reed's fan base can't answer is his phone wasn't found inside of the house, because a lot of people, oh, the phone went up and down the steps. There was, steps of it, changing, I guess, elevation. And I'm like, all right, well, where are the steps for it getting back out of the house? Did it just vanish and then appear outside underneath his body? And then the third thing is that there was a piece of, I guess, the corner of the taillight kind of was curved, and there was a piece of taillight that was found at the scene that kind of looked similar, like had the same curvature, but it wasn't the same piece. I actually found where that piece belonged. That piece belonged to the inside of the taillight. And if you go and you look at the video when she's leaving, that part is already missing before John's body is found. And so
I remember that piece. I don't know why I remember that.
Yeah. So unless Proctor had some sort of time machine and was able to go back and forth and get inside of garages and do all these other things, it's impossible. It's impossible. Plus, they got her going at over 80% reverse, and then I found a video, and I put it on YouTube, but they took it down because it was too graphic. And it was a person popping it in reverse, hitting somebody with the rear tail corner, and it twisted the person in the, like, not twisted, but it like spun them, and the person just landed on their back and hit their head. No broken bones, no nothing, just hit their head. Exactly the same thing that may have happened with John O'Keefe. And so
she was found not guilty, right?
Yeah, she was found not guilty.
Okay, I was just making sure. I forgot.
No, she did. But man, there was this one lady on the jury who said that she didn't know anything about the case, but like 3 minutes after the case ended, found a weird way of following all of the pro Karen Reed YouTubers, Twitter feeds, and everything else, like all across the board, like within minutes of the trial ending. And you could find that it said on her bio that she was a true crimer, blah blah blah. And I'm thinking to myself, how does a true crime enthusiast that lives in that area not know about the Karen Reed case? And 5 minutes after it ends, follows Turtle Boy, follows everybody that says that she was innocent across the board. But hey, I don't know. I only noticed the details.
And
right?
Isn't that funny though? Well, I was gonna say, isn't it funny though, if that was the other way around, that could like be a new trial for someone, like with what's that guy's name? The one that killed his son and his wife, that's getting a new trial, Murdoch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we need to cover that one too, Daniel. Oh my gosh, he's getting a new trial too. But anyway, so I mean, it's funny, like if that's how that happens that way, but if it happens the other way and somebody's found not guilty and you found that there's a juror that might have been a bad juror, they don't reverse it, right?
Can't do
like
anything
when you're
about
found
it.
not guilty, you're not guilty, right?
Exactly. But I have a saying.
I didn't really. Yeah, I thought
I
that.
have a saying, you know, crappy people do crappy things. And if she truly did, you know, hit her boyfriend intentionally and left, which I'm not entirely sure. Um, I honestly truly think that she backed up, and I think she thought, and you know what? I'll say it here. I don't care. I know somebody who knows somebody who spoke with somebody in the prosecution team. They wanted to get her text messages entered into evidence because one of the things that she says to her lawyer was that she thought she hit John, but that it was that she thought that he had punched the taillight. And that's why when she left and got home and said, John, I effing hate you, is because she saw the taillight broken and she thought that he had punched it. And what really happened was that she hit him. And then as he's not answering the phone and doing all these other things, I think she actually left and went to go and see, and she actually saw him. That's why she goes back and she calls somebody that was there. I think it was Jennifer McCabe. She calls Jen and says, hey, John never made it home. You know, the last time we saw him was at the pizza parlor. And Jen's like, no, we saw you at the house. What are you talking about? And she hangs up. And then she calls somebody else and tells them, hey, I think John got hit by a car or John got hit by a snowplow. So when she calls and Jen answers and says, no, I saw you there, she has to change her story. Her entire plan that the last time I saw him was at the pizza place or at the bar or whatever, that no longer could be the case anymore. So she had to come up with something different. She hangs up. She calls somebody else and says, hey, I think he got hit by a snowplow. Weird thing to think of in the middle of the night. And then she goes out and they find, and she's the one that sees him in snow, and he's covered in snow. It's a whiteout blizzard, but she sees him from a long distance away saying, I see him, runs up to him and he's hooting and hollering and yelling and all this other stuff. I think she went back out to go look for him and found him and came back and panicked. But, you know, there's too many things there. It doesn't make any sense. Now,
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah, I mean, I only noticed the evidence and the details, guys. You know, a lot of people would tell me, well, we have to.
That Travis is debating you on two things. One, he said that her text did come in, and the other thing he said was that juror was, I can't find it, but it was something like, I'm paraphrasing, that she was an attorney in Brazil.
She was.
I don't know. I don't know what that had to do with it. I must have missed the rest of it.
She was an attorney in Brazil.
She was an attorney in Brazil and gave TV interviews and then got on social media.
That's not accurate. Because I knew of some people that were on to her for a while too. But
I don't know anything about the case, so I can't say either way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that lady was clearly, she went in there and was saying things like there was like a ton of clips that from the immediately I knew that she was innocent from when she first walked into the room, like before you even heard the evidence. And then that she was telling the other jurors that she should be an attorney with how well she was representing herself, and she didn't do anything. And this was like early on throughout the trial, and this is stuff that she put out there herself. But yeah, it was pretty evident that Karen Reed killed John O'Keefe. They just couldn't prove it, and I think they also had a situation where they looked bad. I mean, if they didn't have Proctor in there, which I think that's what really hurt the case, because there's two things that can happen, right? You can commit a crime and then you can get away with it because the police officers that were investigating it were crappy officers. Think OJ. You know what I'm saying? And so Proctor was one of those. He said some things. He was, I guess, looking for nude pictures of her on her phone. And he also said that he wished that she would take her own life. And so when you say those type of things, it's not going to work well. But me personally, I don't look at those things. I look at the evidence. I look at, did she do it or did she not do it? And in my opinion, there's just so much overwhelming evidence that she did. What you have to believe that she's innocent. Now, there's a difference between being innocent and being acquitted and not being found not guilty. Doesn't mean you didn't commit the crime. It just means that the jury didn't come up with proof beyond reasonable doubt that you did. And so she got acquitted. I don't think that means that she didn't do it. And me, when I look at the evidence, and you look at what it is that you have to believe that somebody else did this, that a dog that didn't have DNA bit him.
I don't
And
know. I hear True talk about that all the time too. About
and
the
and
dog.
that the dog also, apparently, if you look at all of the injuries are in one direction. And if you look at any other dog, a dog attack or anything, they have paws.
Oh,
that
you
go
wouldn't?
up.
Didn't you get bit?
I did. And you can see it. You have the
I
scars
almost
going
dropped
that way. You have the scars going this way. I had cuts on my
That was so bad when you
scratches
showed.
going into every different direction. Dogs don't go in one direction like his injuries were going in one direction. All right. There was just so much in there. And then that, my opinion, was the epitome of a case that if you pay somebody, they'll say whatever it is that they want, that you want them to, if the payment is enough or if the stage is big enough.
That's what I'm saying about the McKenzie thing. Like they could have found somebody to, like they could have found people to say things, and they just
Karen Reed's defense team and everybody that they had, all of those experts will go up there. I mean, even one of them, the Cellbrite guy's wife, was part of the Free Karen Reed Facebook group.
Oh my God. You really can't make that stuff up.
You can't make it up. You cannot make it up. It was so bad. But hey, you know, at the end of the day, what Proctor did and what they did was worse because they made it look like it. I mean, all they had to do was be competent police officers and do the right thing and just follow the evidence. And to be 110% honest with you, that case should have been solved and found guilty across the board. But it was their own mistakes and their own wrongdoing, and somebody got away with it.
Yeah, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And Travis says that, you know, they paid for it too, but you know, there was a lot of things that came out about the conversations that they had. In fact, part of my intro where it says that there's going to be some huge consequences with the defense team is because the conversations that the defense team was having with the so-called expert that was hired by the FBI and was supposed to be unbiased, that expert was telling the defense attorney, all right, if you don't want me to say that, you know, certain things, I cannot say those certain things. If you want me to keep it this way, also, hey, the prosecution might say this. You might want to do this to overcome that. That's not an impartial expert, guys. I don't care what you say. Please. But hey, if you want to believe that, I got some things I can sell you. I'm pretty good as a salesman, by the way.
I was going to say some Pokemon cards.
Well, guys, that's all I got from you guys tonight. Anything else, Dr. Vona?
No, me too. I'm down the shore right now, so I don't know when I'm going to be on again. Maybe, I don't know. What's today? Saturday? I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. But I don't know when I'll be on again. What are you doing next? I feel like people have gotten unfortunately used to that with me, that they don't always know. But I usually come on around the same time. So around like 9:30ish, 10. So maybe I always say if you have your notifications on, then you'll know when we're both on, right? So when do you go on again?
I'll be on Married to the Hobby, my other Pokemon show. So if you guys didn't watch this in the beginning, I have another YouTube channel called Married to the Hobby. Me and my wife, we are ripping Pokemon packs, and you know, we put Rogan's going to be a part of the show when she's a little bit older.
I love that.
You'll hear her in the background though, so she's already part of the show in a certain way. But yeah, we rip Pokemon cards. This is our stress reliever to get away from the true crime stuff. Please go follow us. Married #2 The Hobby is how you found it. We got another 11 subscribers or 7 subscribers since the beginning. So I thank you so much for those who have subscribed and followed. Thank you. But that'll be the next thing that airs tomorrow. We have a video that's coming out. And those that do follow, we are giving away a Chaos Rising booster bundle. So make sure you go and follow and subscribe. And I appreciate that, guys.
I'm going to go do it right now. I love it. I love that for you too. I swear to God, I'm going to go subscribe right now. And everybody make sure you're subscribing to both of us on this channel too, and Daniel's channel too.
Yes, ma'am. Drunk Turkey Show, Dr. Vona. You can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. Thank you
Until
so
next
much,
time,
Daniel,
y'all.
for doing this. And I can't wait to do it again.
Yes, ma'am.
And
You
thank
have
you
a
to
great
all our
one.
mods and everyone. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yes,
I'll see you
ma'am.
guys. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.